Hello. Have you ever curled your hair with your curling iron intending on a vintage look only to find it really didn't look that vintage? Well, today I'm going to show you how to do a true vintage looking heat set using a curling iron. So grab your curling iron and your hairspray and let's get started. So I want to just say, hair is so individual and really it's different based on your hair type, your porosity, if it's dyed or not. I mean, even if your water is hard or soft, there's so many different factors to consider and you're really gonna have to do some experimenting before you find your perfect technique. But that being said, you totally can do it. I believe in you. So here's some things that have worked for me. I used a pretty small curling iron. This one is 3/4 of an inch. Try sizing down if your curls fall out. That being said, if your hair takes a curl very well, you might want to still use a 1 inch. It just really depends. I don't have dyed hair, so I can use more heat on it. I also spray each section with hairspray. Today I'm just using this Mega hairspray from Aussie. I don't typically use this, but I'm out of all my other hairsprays, so today that's what I'm going to use. The other thing, and this may be the most important thing that you need, clips, pin curl clips and hair clips, like that. Those are also helpful when you're making your waves and pinning slightly larger sections. But I'm gonna link all these down below. First, you're gonna wanna start out by making a deep side part. So what we're gonna do is take a section like that, about 1 inch by maybe a couple inches, and I'm gonna just spray lightly with my hairspray. You can also use a specific heat set spray. I'm just using regular hairspray. I personally haven't noticed much of a difference myself. And the heat set sprays can sometimes be a little bit too crunchy, but again, it's all about experimentation. So my curling iron is hot already, and I'm going to carefully, with the hair up and out, like so, not down, up and out, I'm going to start at the middle, bring the curling iron to the end, and then roll towards my scalp. And I am going to wait until it's very hot before I take it out. Okay, that feels good. So now get a clip ready and you're gonna release and carefully you're gonna cup the curl, you're gonna catch the curl, and then you're going to roll it and then clip, like so. You can clip it flat to your head or you can clip it out. It doesn't really matter, but this one is going down. Now, I have decided and figured out that I like when I have a row of curls that go up and the rest going down. It gives a nice wave. You can also alternate rows too. So I'm going to do this section here, also rolling down. The nice thing about having shorter hair too is that it's a bit easier to curl. When I had long hair, I really had to do very, very small sections and it took forever. So again, my hair's up and out, like so. And then I'm gonna start in the middle of the shaft or section, pull out, and then roll up. And I'm gonna keep it nice and taut there while it heats completely. And again, I'm gonna catch it and I'm going to clip it. The key here is, especially if you have longer or heavier hair, to catch the curl. You don't just take it out and let it fall, because that really hurts the integrity of the curl and it will immediately start to release as soon as the heat is off of it. So by catching it, you're kind of keeping it in that formation and then it's gonna start to cool in that same shape. So I'm gonna move down to this section right here. And instead of rolling down this time, I'm gonna roll up. So spray, pull down until you get to the ends and then roll up. carefully, you know what? I didn't get close enough to the roots that time, so I'm gonna redo that. You really want to make sure you get as close to the roots as you can. But of course that is just for a hairstyle like this. If you have longer hair and you want more curls to be concentrated at the base, you don't have to worry so much about getting so close to the scalp. But for my haircut, I need to get pretty close. So see, that one's going up. Okay, and then carefully. So the next section is the kind of front upper bang section. So I am going to go about halfway back on my head. So these are actually going to go over this way, except I am going to have one go the opposite way to give me that little swoop wave thing. So you're going to take this front section, you're just going to do the same procedure. And this one I'm going to pull pretty much straight up. I'm not going to try to get this one like super close to my scalp, just because I want the curl to start a little bit farther over from my part. I like using those larger ones for the front sections. Larger clips, that is. Okay, so this one I'm going to also roll over. Make sure you get all ends of your hair and that they're nice and straight and they're not tucked under weird in the iron. And then the last one up here, I am going to curl the opposite way. You can totally curl it the same way. I've just found that doing one in the opposite direction helps with the swoop, like I said before. So the hair's poked out of there. So if you find that your hairs some of them are poking out more than others, either the piece just should go to the next section, or you might have the angle of the curling iron a little bit off. You might need to kind of angle it like that. So now I'm just going to keep doing the rest of my head in the same manner, making sure that this row here around my head is going up instead of down, and that will give me a nice swoop. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a time lapse here and I'll show you when I'm done. So I'm going to just let this cool for a while. I'm probably going to go outside for a minute because it's actually really nice and pretty cool out. So that will help speed it up, and I'll be right back. Okay, it's been a little bit and my hair feels nice and cool. Even better if you do some chores, watch some TV, hang out, do your makeup. The longer it sets, the better your set is going to turn out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take my clips out. I found that for me, I don't have to be as aggressive as with a wet set brush out. So I just use my Denman brush, hair all in it. Any kind of paddle brush or brush with bristles like that. That was the male person. Any kind of brush with bristles like this would work. And I just start brushing through. Oh, I did miss one clip. And just like that, we have our nice set. You can use a mirror and make sure it looks good in the back. Just really get the bottom. My hairstyle is still a bit short, My haircut is still a bit short to do vintage waves, but as soon as it's long enough, I'll give you a more in-depth tutorial on the waves themselves. So I'm very happy with that, how that looks so far. I'm just going to tease this front section right here a little bit. Hairspray. And if you're still not able to get a lot of volume, you can also use dry shampoo or a volumizing powder. I put some on before I started. And you're gonna wanna have your hair be clean, or mostly clean. If your hair is like mine at all, if I do a heat set on dirty hair, sometimes it can look kind of stringy in the back just because of the oil. And that's not a cute look. You know, you want your curls to be nice and fluffy and full, and you don't want to have gaps in your curls. Now I'm just gonna kind of mold this with my fingers. I'm using my thumb as kind of a brace, and then I'm just gently brushing out the rest of it. I'm being careful because, like I said, my hair is extremely stubborn and does not like to curl, so I don't want to brush my curls out. I do also love how it's not as tight as a wet set. Like, to me, this looks more like second day hair when I do a wet set, which is the best day in my opinion. And I think it looks really cute. The only thing is also it doesn't last as long, so there's pros and cons to both a heat set and a wet set. So now what I have to do, of course, is spray it a lot. Well, what do you think? It's not quite a wet set, but it's not that far off. It's totally worth it to have this skill in your beauty arsenal. And if you are too tired to do a wet set at night, or if your washing pattern hasn't quite worked out, then a heat set is a great alternative, and using my methods will get you a more authentic look. To summarize everything, the curl clips are very important. The waiting for it to cool down is very important. Spraying each section is very important. And the not brushing too aggressively is very important. If you have any other tips on how to do a heat set, a nice vintage looking heat set, then leave them in the comments, because someone else might have a similar hair type as you and we can help each other out. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. One of our neighbor's chickens was in our front yard. Anyway, okay, so back to hair.